covered enough stuff that you're going to be opening up your own business. And in your business, you're going to sell exactly one product. We're going to make it real easy. You only sell one thing. Now you're going to sell multiple things. You're going to sell multiple items of that one thing, but just one unique thing. So like in the example I used a week ago or so, you're going to sell the XL3000 sweep vacuum. But you pick whatever you want to sell. So if you're a vacuum store, you sell one type of vacuum and that's it. You don't sell the supplies, you don't sell anything else, just for our project here. Otherwise, you're going to have an inventory sheet for every single piece of different item that you have. And you don't want to do that. That'd be way too complex for this. So you're going to make up your own business. If you call it Widgets R Us, that's fine, or you can make up your own name. Your business is going to start up in December of this year. It's going to be a brand new business. So basically, I don't want to see a pre-existing trial balance because I don't know where those numbers came from. I want everything to be brand new. Just kind of like what we did at the very beginning of the semester. If you would go back to, say, week 1 or 2 or 3, we had, for example, Marty's painting. You are going to be providing me items like this, except now they'll be a little bit more detailed than these guys were. But the same premise. You're going to provide me everything, including all 7 steps that we did. You're going to provide me the T accounts and the journal entries, financials, everything, including the word entries, these word entries, what actually happened in the business. Notice how I had to start out each one of those examples. I couldn't just start out and say, day 1, paid for advertising. Can't do that because why?
Don't have any money.
I don't have money. So your first entry better be, how are you going to obtain some upfront money? And I want it to be realistic. I don't want you to say, I deposited $500,000 into my new business. It's not realistic for us to start up a new business, at least most of us in here. I don't want you to also say, I went to the bank and got out a loan for $250,000. That's not realistic. Maybe you could go to loan and get a $20,000 loan, and maybe you put in an additional $20,000 that you've saved up over 4 or 5 years. That's more realistic, and that's what I want your project to be like. I don't want this to be some abstract thing that doesn't even make sense. I want this to be as real as we can do it and still be easy enough to where we can do it. So I'm going to use your word entries just like if I was doing the homework that you normally do. I'm going to be going through the project, and your answers are over there on how you did everything, and I'm going to go through it and see if my answers match yours. That's kind of how I have to grade it. You have the project answers, and then I go through and make my own answers. And if they match, great. If there's a point that comes along and I don't know how to do the journal entry because you didn't give me enough information, then that's not good. I don't want you to say, I bought inventory from the manufacturer for $500. That's not enough information. What are you missing if you bought inventory for $500?
Shipping tax.
True, shipping tax, but what the main thing is,
How did you buy it?
okay, how did you buy it? Yeah, did I buy it on account? Did I buy it with cash? But one big item. If I bought $500 of inventory, and I'm looking at my sheet, remember the Excel sheet we had, I had 3 columns. Average price, price, units. If I told you I bought $500 worth, how many did I buy? Did I buy 100? Did I buy 500? I don't know. You didn't tell me. I can't go through and do the entire problem without that information. And I kind of give you those little pointers as you go through the instructions. Things that I found that are common to forget, that I don't want you to forget. You're going to need to have probably at least one piece of equipment. I don't care what it is. Maybe it's a cash register, or maybe it's a computer system in your business. Maybe it's shelving. And then you're going to depreciate it. Even though you only have it for a month, we're going to pretend that you had it for a year, just to make it easy. And I have all that here. And then some of the meat of this project, you're going to have at least 2 purchases and 2 sales. 2 purchases of inventory and 2 sales of inventory. And then I kind of, in a little specific too here, I want you to at least have your second purchase complete by the time you have your second sale. So I basically don't want to see this. I don't want to see purchase of inventory and then you have a sale, and then a purchase. I don't want that. I want to make sure your second purchase is somewhere in here before that final sale. Now you could have 2 purchases back to back if you want. That's fine. And each purchase needs to be at its own price per unit. So if you bought 50 items for $3 a piece, your next thing should say maybe I bought 70 more at $3.50. I want there to be a difference. When you start selling stuff, I want you to tell me this. Are you selling at LIFO, FIFO, average cost? How are you going to show me your cost of goods sold? That's where you're going to have to do that sheet, that Excel sheet that we just did in class. That's going to be part of the project. I give you a listing here of all the things that need to be submitted. And the reason I touch on this is, then I'll get up here to the extra credit. The reason I tell you this right now is I allow you to submit this because I want you to do it well and I want you to get a good grade. I allow you to submit this 2 times for review, and I put that somewhere in this project writing. I don't know where I have it. I allow you to submit this up to 2 times for review. The first time, if you do choose to have it reviewed, I would have probably that much done. You could have me review it just after this first step if you wanted to, but then you're wasting a whole review on just one of the 8 steps instead of maybe at least half. I wouldn't probably go through and do all of them before the first review, because if you messed up here, then the rest of this is going to be off. Most people who do it well have me review it at about the 4th step, and then maybe have me review it one more time after the 8th step. Students who don't have me review it at all, and they just kind of turn it in, generally average about a 40% out of 100. Because you miss so much stuff, or you don't think about it, you don't put it in, you miss a lot of details. If you have me review it once, usually you get between about a 70 and 80%. That's about average. If you have me review it both times and you've had it all the way completed, at least one of those reviews, generally people get in the 90, 100, or even bonus up to 115 points maybe, extra credit.
What's the due date?
Due date, okay. If you go to the homework syllabus, right now we're at, right here, we're in week 8, the week of October 13th. And I tell you, we're going to pass out the take home, well, basically you print it off. It's due the week of the 17th of November. You have 5 weeks plus, what, 5 weeks. So it's due 17th, 18th, 19th, the 20th. It's due that Thursday. If you want me to review it, the last day that I will review it is that week before the 20th. So the 13th. I will review it twice up through the 13th. I will not review it after the 13th. Now, real quickly before we end, I just wanted to touch on a couple of these extra credit so you know what you can do extra if you want the extra credit. One thing, if you turn it in early, mainly because that helps me. If I get 20 projects all in the same day, it's going to take me a long time to get through those because there is no answer key. Everybody has their own answer key, and I have to go through and figure it out. So it takes me a good 20 minutes minimum to go through one project. It takes a long time. So if you turn it in early, up to 10 points, 2 weeks early, 5 points, 1 week early. If you typed it all out, which is hopefully a no-brainer, I wouldn't want you to have to write all this out and then I go through and mark it all out and tell you what's wrong, and then you have to write the whole thing again. It's just easier if you type it, send it to me on email. I check it, give it back to you in class the next time I see you, or I scan it and email it back to you. Then you don't have to retype everything. Just change your mistakes. The last thing to mention is if you add some of these tougher items that we've more recently covered. If you go in and tell me, I bought a computer for my business and I got a purchase discount of $210 net 30, and then you actually pay it off and get that discount, I give you extra credit if you did it right. If you do it wrong, points taken off. The only thing I don't want to see, though, is no purchase discount when you bought inventory. So if you say I bought 50 items to resell in my business, no purchase discount because it gets too messy on your inventory sheet. So that's the only place I don't want to see a discount option, is when you are actually buying the inventory. Now if you go and sell it, great, have a sales discount. But when you buy it, don't do that. So I have that there to remind you. FOB shipping, every time you use one that's different, I give you extra credit for it. So if you have 2 sales and then you offer if you offer 2 sales discounts, I only give you credit for one of them. Extra credit. Same with everything on here. Now this one you can get multiple opportunities. FOB shipping point, you buy something or you sell it. Both ways are different for FOB shipping point. Buy or sell FOB destination. That could be 4 different items of extra credit there. You have a sales return, and then any other complicated items that we have or will be going through in the next couple weeks that you want to add in. Don't try to do this all in one day. If you wait for the last week, you're going to be overwhelmed.
When it says no less than 10, no more than 20, like if you have one of those sheets and you give us the problem, is that what you need, 10 different entries?
Yep, 10 different, no less than 10 of these word entries, no more than 20, otherwise it's just too long for me to go through. Okay. So you can start sending me those as soon as you get to a point where you want me to check it. Whether that's